Hello, dear readers. I'm sorry I've been away for a while, but life has a way of making plans unmanageable. Now, instead of talking about one of my cases today, I thought I'd discuss my town, and some of the more harmless but still pretty odd things that happen here. Now, not everything that I'm going to describe is still happening, nor will everything be exactly harmless. Let me begin this breakdown of the town by saying that I have personally witnessed each of these events, at least once. I've tried to trace through the origin of each one. However, I haven't been able to prove or disprove the possibility that these things were caused by supernatural beings or situations. For starters, let me tell you about how the city sewer system is basically alive. Well, that's a drastic oversimplification. The sewers don't breathe or move, but they do eat. Our town has its own water treatment plant, so the city does have an idea of what should be floating into the treatment plant. However, once or twice a month, the only thing that floats in is plain, clear, clean water. It's still treated, of course, because, we tried sending guys into the network to inspect and make certain there were no breaks in the tiles and stopping breaches. 4 guys went in. 1 came out. 2 weeks later, 3 dive suits washed onto the plant, empty and unharmed. Then there's the fact that every now and then, our fire hydrants like to turn into flamethrowers. Not big flames, just a couple of feet, but hot, like nuclear hell hot. It got to the point where the city removed 75% of the hydrants and brought in tanker trucks to replace them. We lost a pretty good hydrant truck before that decision was made. Or how about the fact that there will occasionally be, for lack of a better term, portals that open up behind the grocery store in town. We never know when they're going to pop up, but we always know after they've opened. The portals themselves usually open up about 20 feet above the level of the roof, and they have a tendency to vomit odd creatures. Fish that flop on the blacktop of the alleyway and bark like dogs, snakes that have legs, and look like giant centipedes, save for the fact that they have rattle buttons. And there's also these bipedal figures that are somewhat human, but they have the face of a deer. The deer-faced people have a tendency to walk into the market and chew on the produce. And of course, they never pay. The portals open and close at random, and to this date we've not managed to learn anything about them, or where they open up to. We tried to send a drone across a few weeks ago, but it got swallowed and digested by something that we couldn't see. Wednesday night, the sidewalks turned sticky like a thick glue substance. They've taken a few citizens. Of course, we can't just take them out, so we close them off every Wednesday afternoon and reopen them Thursday morning. Our town has its fair share of weird shit. Nobody can argue otherwise. We have occasionally dangerous shit, and we have even more common non-dangerous weird shit. But there are things that have been known to be hostile to some and incredibly docile to others. By this, of course, I mean the sunflowers. Sunflowers? Yeah, sunflowers. They pop up overnight like gigantic mutated dandelions. Some of them have teeth, and others just scream at the sky until they die when the sun goes down. We had a botanist try to come out and examine them once. He was bitten and severely disfigured by one that didn't even appear to initially have teeth. I guess they can just grow teeth at a whim. We have a silent but standing rule. Nobody grows sunflowers of any variety, and when the odd one does pop up, we just avoid them. My entire county has a problem with feral cats as well. And they do appear to be normal cats, but they're simply just fucking huge. Last week, 2 of them attacked the dog pound. They devoured 3 pit bulls and a poodle before they were satiated and fled the scene. We try to capture them, but they're smart enough to avoid every trap that we tried. Our local animal control officer stated that monthly, he just goes out and kills as many of these big-ass fucks as he sees. Last month, he got like 13 in 2 hours driving around the county. Recently, these cats have been starting to communicate with people. They don't speak, but they have some sort of mental communication type. In short, they are dicks. They're dicks who would tell you the darkest things. This past weekend, one of the cats convinced a 14-year-old girl to stab her mother and then slice her wrists. Her diary was filled with pages and writings about what the cats told her. They convinced her that she wasn't a human child, but a rare breed of ape that was stolen from the zoo by the woman she thought was her mother. This pushed the poor child to murder her mother and then slice her own wrists, just so that she could leave her body that she had been forced into and be free with her family in the forest. The last thing I'll discuss today will be the way that our forests have of dealing with tourists and hunters alike. It's gotten to the point where hunting licenses aren't sold in the county, and licenses from the rest of the state are not valid here. People have vanished and never been seen again. Or even worse, they return and they're not the same. The last hiker that was returned to town was returned without his eyes. Now, they had not been removed in any conventional way. It was as if they were never there to begin with. His skull didn't have eye sockets or passages for the optical nerves. The skin was tightly grown over, and that's where they should have been. The worst and weirdest part about the whole thing, he can still see us, right down to being able to describe what we were wearing. And he was even able to pass an eye exam with slightly better than 20/20 by the chart method. Just weird. Well, folks, I have to cut this one short. I hear a cat in the yard. Gotta make sure that bastard doesn't try to attack my miniature horse again. Until next time, the Sheriff. Guys, thank you for coming and hanging out during this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you smash like and share it out on all your social medias. I appreciate it.